Peter Garrett, who one of the more high-profile Ministers' boys, as you would know, but Peter also a big Essendon fan, and I'll have to ask you, this is a great day for footy and a great day for Australia. You've been to an Anzac match before?
Nah, never been to an Anzac Day match and always wanted to come. Yeah, love the Bombers ever since I sat up on Windy Hill as a student from ANU. Come down from Sydney and a few Victorian blokes took me down and I experienced for the first time, fell in love, and I've been there ever since.
Peter, Gary Lyon here. You would have been a rangy ruck type, I would have thought, in your youth, maybe centre half forward.
Yeah, Gary, actually I did a little bit of rucking for the ANU team, but fairly low order, mate, I've got to say, and then music got a hold of me, so there you go.
Speaking of music, you're not exactly new to the M's, Pete. You only had Midnight Oil running around on us for about 20 years, but what about the footy you see now? Do you get to many games at all, or is it even the Swans up there? Do you get to AFL footy much?
Not as much as I'd like. I watch a little bit on telly. You get to see Collingwood a little bit if you watch telly, which is, well, what can I say?
No good. Is that what you meant?
Yeah. Not as much as I like. But look, I think the thing about today's game is that it's a little bit like what the sport can be at its best. It's bigger than the two teams that are playing. It's about our history. It's about the sort of sacrifice that people have given, and it's also about the fact that we're still connecting with our history in new ways, and the atmosphere in here is just going to be absolutely sensational, and I'm delighted I could get down.
Very different from the one you would have experienced a couple of weeks ago, I guess, with sound relief, Peter.
Yeah, but again, that was just one of those things. I just think the G it's a magic, the word icon's a little overused, but it's an iconic venue for us, and I think when we played sound relief at the G, for us it was a case of knowing that people had been through something which was very, very difficult, and they needed an opportunity to come together, and you had the old guard out there from the Hunters and then Ends and then ourselves, and the house was incredible. It was that warm and that positive, and I think they made it very easy for us. All we had to do was get up and do the show, and the rest of it took care of itself.
Do you agree that this particular day, the Anzac Day footy game between these two particular sides, has really focused the Anzac commemoration a lot more than it did preceding these 14 Anzac Day games that we've had?
Yeah, I think it has, and what's really interesting to me is that, at one level, Anzac is about losing, but it's also about discovering the humanity and the kind of gutsiness and the attitude that these young guys took to them and to looking after their mates when they were over there. And the fact that we now, over 90 years later, are able to gather in a venue as extraordinary as this to witness one of the great Australian experiences, a good game of footy between two outstanding clubs, but to do it in a way which is commemorating that memory but making it come alive again, it's very, very special. We should be proud of what we've been able to achieve by marrying a celebration of sport, enjoyment of sport, and a recognition and a respect of our history.
Peter, you talked about Windy Hill, watching the greats Watson, Madden, Jimmy Hurd's now retired. Who do you like in the Bombers outfit? Is it Lloyd, Lucas, Fletcher? Who do you like watching?
Well, I know that Scotty Lucas actually did a handball in front of the post a couple of weeks back. Someone was telling me, so I've got to say, come on, mate, get with it.
Well, you know your football. Cop that.
Well, look, I've always liked Matthew Lloyd as a player, I think, and as a leader as well. I think he's an outstanding football player, and he's a very good leader. I know he had a good game against Carlton, so I guess there's a hope there that he's going to come good. These fellas, the ones that you've mentioned to me, have been playing for the Bombers for some time. They've really served well. We've seen some great games from them. I think today it's going to be hard for them out here. Of course, I want to see them get up, but Collingwood are looking reasonably sharp as well, and I understand now. I just had a look at the recorder. I've got a feeling Didak's out. Is that right?
Yes, out.
Yeah, he's right. But also, let me see, little Mark McVeigh's out as well.
Yep.
So bit of the bling's gone out of the Bombers with him not being on the field. So we'll have to see how they go.
What's your recorder say there, Brian?
No, mine says that Didak is out, Gary.
Right. Now, Pete, as we let you go, you're doing great work in politics, of course, but we saw you out here a couple of weeks ago, as Brian mentioned. I hope you haven't finished as the front man for the Oils. Are we going to see, when you dust off the political career, you're back out the front where you belong?
Oh, it's a timing issue, isn't it?
Well,
look, I think the fact of the matter is that the boys have kept playing, and I'm now doing something else which I'm fully committed to. We'll just see how we go. We've always said that if we had the opportunity to do something worthwhile somewhere down the track, then we'd have a go at it, but we'll just wait and see.
James, it's not the appropriate forum. I'd like to talk to Peter about the D-cell plant down near maybe let him go today and enjoy the footy, and I might catch up with him at another time.
By all means, mate.
Thanks, Peter, for joining us on Triple M.
Thanks, mates.